out! Run!
What's going on, guys? Bart here with Tully Television. I want to thank all of you for showing up, liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, all that beautiful YouTube stuff. If you're a new viewer, hit that red subscribe bar down below. If you're a returning viewer, thank you for returning. If you have yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe bar down below. Only together can we go straight to the moon, baby. Today, I want to talk about The Acolyte, Episode 4, entitled Day. And as we know, there's a lot of controversy surrounding this series, and a lot of it has to do with the writing. And on the other side, the other side believes that the people who are attacking this show is because of them being some sort of ist, right? Against women or pronouns or certain relationships, right? That people may have. People are thinking that those who are attacking the show, it's because of those things. And as a Star Wars fan myself, who's been watching Star Wars since I was 7, 8 years old, um, you know, I don't think it's really about that, because Star Wars has always been a universe that has been so wide and expansive, even back when the original trilogy was there. Princess Leia was the head of the rebellion. Luke Skywalker was just a rookie, bro. He got pulled into this thing. Han Solo was a bootlegger, bro. He wasn't involved in this either. The Force drew these men together to be led by a woman, basically. You know what I mean? So I don't ever get how and then the female general from Empire Strikes Back and stuff, and Return of the Jedi, she was a female too, and she was in Rogue One as the setup to how they got the information on how to destroy the Death Star. She helped lead that mission. Jane Urso, was part of that mission. Not part of the original trilogy, but what I'm saying is, the head of that mission was a female. Star Wars fans never complained about females in the lead or being part of the story or anything like that. It was the writing. If it was good, it was good. If it was not good, it was not good. People roasted the Star Wars Holiday Special. That was with Chewbacca as the lead. You know what I mean? People were roasting that. Okay, so Star Wars was getting roasted way back in the day, and by fans, and people are gonna still roast Star Wars today if it's bad. And this series is not really good, man. With the writing, there's only one or two actors in this that are really the leading light in this series, and it's unfortunate, because I remember the first movie I brought my kid brother to see was Star Wars: A New Hope, when they re-released that. He was 3 years old. It was literally his first movie theater movie, and when the big speakers and the screen came on, he got a little jolted, of course, because he's so used to just the TV. And then, that sudden to where it's like, it's okay, you're going to get used to the loudness. And he did, and he became so enthralled with Star Wars. He himself, at 30 years old now, is a Star Wars fan himself. But let's get into this episode. I just kind of wanted to get that out there so people don't think that I'm somebody who doesn't know this franchise or doesn't follow this franchise. That I'm just getting into this now. No, I've been a fan of this franchise for decades. But we have Amanda Steinberg as May slash Osha. We have Manny Giacchinato as Kumir. Daphne Keene as Jackie Lone. Lee Jung Jae as Master Soul, or Master Squid Games to you, buddy. Charlie Barnett as Yard Vandar. Rebecca Henderson as Vanessa Ro. Jonas Shitama as Kanaka. Interesting fact about Rebecca Henderson. She's the wife of Lisa Headland, who made this show. And Lisa Headland was the former assistant of Charlie Weinstein. So that means she was in on it from the beginning. She may not know or may know exactly what happened, but she was his assistant the whole time those things were happening. Keep that in mind. Such an advocate for women, that lady. So, first thing I'd like to say, when the Jedi are at the headquarters and they're going over May and whether she was trained by someone or not, and the possibility that she's a dark force user, we get a character that we've seen in the Phantom Menace. Ki-Adi-Mundi, Jedi Master. He's the Jedi Master that famously said in the Phantom Menace how the Sith were destroyed 1,000 years ago and no one has heard from them. Kind of adding to the arrogance of the Jedi at that time. Like, there's no way the Sith, playoffs? No way. Okay? He's in this episode. 100 years before that moment, he's in this episode. And he was 70 years old at that time in the Phantom Menace. Listen, folks. In the Phantom Menace, he was 70. But in this episode, that happens 100 years before that movie, he was alive and as an adult. I don't know how that is possible. Is he using dark force magic? I mean, because how are you alive and an adult 30 years before you're even born? How? So, they can't even take the time to investigate their own lore. This is what the fans are talking about. If you're going to... You could have did Yoda. But I bet you Yoda's being saved for being the biggest cuck of this whole show. Yet, it just please. Now, the point of this episode is that Master Soul is given permission to go after May, but only if Osha helps. Okay, Osha's getting ready to leave. She had a conversation with Jackie Lone, who she was flirting with early in the season, which is odd because you would think that being she's a Padawan, she's like a teenager at this point, and a grown woman is flirting with a teenager. But it's okay because it's woman and woman flirting. So it's okay if the woman is older and then the other woman is a teenager because it's girls, I guess. I don't know the rules. I just know that would be weird to me. Talking about how flexible you are as a character to another character who's a teenager and you're an adult. Whatever, I guess, but Osha wants to leave. She doesn't want to be involved with looking for May. So you're telling me all these years that you thought your sister was dead and you found out she's alive and you don't want to go looking for her to find out what happened? And then Osha, later on, as she's walking with Khmer to look for Kanaka, she decides to turn on Khmer and not kill Kanaka and want to go look for May to reestablish their connection. So the one that you thought would care about finding out the other sister's alive doesn't care and doesn't want to look for her, and the one that you would think that doesn't care and wouldn't want to look for her wants to look for her and rebuild the relationship. Okay, I guess. Um, and then I'm starting to think that Khmer is the master of May, so to speak, because there's really no other candidate outside of the mother that created May and Osha, the one that created them through the Dark Force. She may be the master, but I'm starting to think that it's Mother Anayesa, that character, but I'm starting to think it's Khmer that is the master. And near the end of the episode, when May realizes that she took off in the woods, went to go find Kanaka to then turn herself into the Jedi to be protected by them after she just killed the couple or tried to kill them or whatever. But realizes that Kanaka is dead. She realizes then the Master is there, and as our group of Jedi get to Kanaka's ship that they intentionally crashed to stay there because of whatever trauma happened at this Osha and May camp that when they were children, which we still don't know exactly what happened. We just know that may have started the fire, but how did it spread? We still trying to figure that out. But then the Master shows up, and the Jedi get blown away after they lightsaber up, and then that's where the episode ends. So, with this episode, with Master Soul and the rest of the Jedi, they're coming across a possible Sith Master. Even if you accept that the Kai Adi Mundi character, right? Even if you were to ignore the continuity era of him being alive or not alive, born or not born into the timeline yet. If, let's just say you ignore that, in this episode, he realizes that after this episode and when the Jedi come back and everything and explain what happened, then his line in The Phantom Menace doesn't make sense. Because he's talking about that the Sith hasn't made an appearance in 1,000 years. Well, this is 100 years before that. So they did kind of make it known that they were around a little bit. Maybe not in the way that you would think as as Palpatine or anything like that, but there was people using Dark Force, using the Force in dark ways, and so then that line in The Phantom Menace makes no sense. Because then it already made its appearance way before that. So this show can't really get out of its way. This murder mystery, they were trying so much to think they were smart about this, and they really just, like I said, keep getting in their way. Even if you take away whatever your feelings are about people having two mothers or gender ideology or whatever you think about Leslie Headland in real life and her character, right? As a person, excuse me, the writing is inconsistent and poor. It makes no sense. And that's really the standing point of this whole series is that this whole series is not making sense through the lore, through the logic. They're contradicting themselves, and then characters care one minute and then they don't care the other minute. You know, like Osha carried this guilt of knowing her sister was gone all these years and now she's alive and she doesn't want to go looking for her. And the fact that you have to keep reminding the audience of people's history. And I didn't even really get into other scenes that didn't make any sense in this. Like, they ran into this big bug creature on the planet that Kanaka's on. And when they lit up their lightsaber, the bug goes to the lightsaber and inadvertently kills himself because it's like a fly in a bug zapper. And we see that he was attracted to the light, and they gotta go, oh, he's attracted to the light. We don't need confirmation. Let us see, right? We don't need to explain everything. That's why it's also a visual medium, so we can see. You know, we don't need to. And then, like, every character for Osha had to be like, and your parents died, and your sister died. It's like, thanks, bro. Like, I know. I don't need you to tell me that my parents died, okay? I know my parents died, alright? I know my sister died. Shit, man. Come on. Come on. Really, that's all I have for you guys today when it comes to the Acolyte episode 4. Don't let people make you feel stupid for pointing out writing inconsistencies. Stay with that as your argument. If you want to debate this show, it's writing inconsistencies. Even if you want to take out everything else political that you might want to point out, the writing is inconsistent. And we have 4 more episodes of this, and I can't imagine how much more of a pain in the neck this show is going to get. But until next time, peace, Snookums.